Hello, everyone, and welcome to another evening of stamping. My name is Sarah Simon, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Appleton, Wisconsin, and I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. I have two cards. One is an easy layout, and the other one is a fun fold. I know some of you love fun folds, and I'm using two bundles that I haven't used yet that are in, let me think here. One's actually, I think they're both online exclusives. So they were online exclusives that started back in, I think they were the ones that started in May, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll be able to see me use some product that maybe you've seen before, or maybe you haven't. And maybe you'll be like, oh, I didn't think that that stamp set or that bundle was that cute. So I'm so excited to be with you. I do have some happy mail to share with you. So I received this card in the mail yesterday. This came to me from Canada. This is from Genevieve Co. And Genevieve was with Shannon West when they came to the Paper Valley in Appleton for a Stampin' Up! Event. And I think I told you last week because I had a card from Shannon where I ran to the cheese factory and I got them cheese and I left my dog treats. Oh, here's Lila. I'm talking. So Lila's like, oh, there's somebody there. I wonder if they can pet me. You guys haven't figured out how to pet her through the TV or the computer screen yet. So she comes over by me and wants me to pet her. But anyhow, I got a whole bunch of cheese for them because they were in Wisconsin and from out of state. And so she was sending me a thank you. And she said that she was over the moon grateful for the gift. So that was nice of her. And look at this beautiful card that I received from Debbie Peters, who's on my team. She's also a friend. I don't know if I saw her jump on here tonight. But she was congratulating me on earning the Alaskan trip. So thank you so much, Debbie. I am still super excited about that. And then look at this cutie. This is the fold that we did for our creative challenge. And this is from my team member and friend, Karen Roofing. And she said, pack those sweaters. You're off to Alaska. Congratulations. So isn't that cute as well? So thank you, ladies, so much for the cards. I really appreciate it. I do have a couple of prizes that I didn't get in the mail. And I think Amy D, I think is Amy Deschler. Amy, I could not find your address anyway. So anywhere. So I was going to ask Kathy Miller for it because we're in conversation right now about our card buffet this weekend. So I do have yours here. I just haven't, it's all set to go. I just need an address on it. Robin, if you're on here, I figured you're going to be at the card buffet or you're going to be getting cards from the card buffet that you're going to be picking up from me. And so I will have this with that to save me some postage. And Margaret Duncan, I could not find your address anywhere. So if you are on here and you want to give me my emails right there, if you want to send me your email or your address, that would be great. Otherwise, I'm still trying to find them so that I can send you your prizes. Speaking of prizes, let's go ahead and get to prizes. Oh my goodness, lots of you jumping on here. We're at 39 already. That's awesome for a Tuesday night in the summer. Thank you for all of you who have liked and shared. Last week, we made our one sheet wonder out of a 6x6 sheet of paper. We had 3 cards that we made. And so what I'm doing for my prizes, for the comment and share, you're each going to get the 3 cards. You're going to get the pack of 3 cards, each of you. Since I had them done, I didn't know how to divide it up. And then I have somebody who won for placing an order as well. Amy's not coming to the card buffet. Okay, so Amy, I will get your address from Kathy and I will get it off in the mail to you. All right, so how I do my prizes, if you're new to me, is anytime you place a comment, your name gets put into a drawing. I just you all get assigned a number. I randomly pick a number. The computer picks the number, and whoever's name is on that wins the prize. So for anyone who commented, and I do check on my live for Facebook or YouTube, I do check in the comments afterwards on YouTube. And then I also check Facebook. I check it on the post that I made advertising it and on the actual video. So I go to two different places on Facebook and I go to two different places on YouTube to check to see who has commented. And I did this today, probably at like about 7 o'clock this morning. So if you commented after that, I apologize. You weren't technically in my drawing. So receiving these, a stack of these cards, for commenting last week is Holly in Wyoming. So Holly in Wyoming, I think I have your address, Holly. I can't remember your last name, but I'm pretty sure that I have your address in my pirate ship. And then for sharing. So if you email a link to the video, if you share on Facebook or whatever, make sure you put YouTube is blurry today. Is anybody else having it really blurry? The problem might be with me because I know that my, I apologize if it's really blurry for you. I have right now, my DirecTV is telling me that I have to be on, what do they call that? Instead of, I have to be on streaming or whatever. So because it doesn't have very good quality right now. And so I'm wondering if it's something with my internet. Okay, everybody's telling me it's blurry. So I apologize. If I can't finish, I wondered if that was going to be the problem. So with having DirecTV and having my internet the way that I have it, I have fiber optic. For some reason, when like storms are possibly in the area, it tells me that I have to stream. So it's blurry everywhere. So I apologize, guys. Is it so blurry that you can't see? Because I'm not even on it. Let me go on my phone here and see. I stopped watching it because I always am like, well, I don't really need to watch it. Let me just check here. If it's so blurry that you can't even see me, then it doesn't pay for me to continue. If it's so blurry that you, oh, it's not so blurry that you can't see me, right? Like mine, at least I can see that it's blurry, but it doesn't look like, it's not like to the point where you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go with it. And I'm pretty sure it's an internet thing. And what I'll probably do afterwards is I'll reset my internet. I know that I had problems. I got a notification that my internet was out the other day, and then it came back in. And like I said, when I turned my brewer game on, it wouldn't play it in high resolution. It told me it had to go to a lower resolution in order to play it because I have that on over here. And so I'm thinking it's something with my internet. So I really, really apologize. Let's see. Did I tell you who won for sharing? So anytime you share, all of a sudden I read comments. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to answer that question. Okay. So everybody's saying I'm a bit blurry, but it's not too bad. So I'm going to keep going. If it gets worse, and I have it up here right now, if it gets too bad, then I'll just stop and I'll have to go a different day. So for sharing, back to that. So anytime you share, make sure that you write share, because some of you have your settings set. Sorry, I'm trying to read comments and talk at the same time. It sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes you have your settings so that I can't see who actually shared. And so you should write shared so that I know that. So receiving a pack of these as well is Marva Dahoney. And Marva is on here. So Marva, I will get these in the mail to you. And Holly, I will get these in the mail to you, because I'm pretty positive, Holly, that I have your address. And then for placing an order. So anytime you go to my online store and you place an order, I go there and I check, and I also put your name into a drawing. And the person winning these is actually getting kind of lucky. So I accidentally ordered too many of these in my pre-order. So these are Cajun Craze in gold. So can you see the little gold flecks in those Cajun Craze little dots. Awesome for fall. And they go with one of our suites of products. And winning this for placing an order last week is Kathy Kessler. And I will be seeing you at the card buffet this weekend. So I'm going to just bring these along because I'll see you sooner than I could probably get them to you in the mail. So congratulations to all of our winners. I have to tell you a little story. So last week, remember how I told you, since I had all these bonus points or bonus dollars or whatever they call them, bonus rewards, that I decided I was going to use second day shipping so that I could get everything. Yep, Linda, I know it's really blurry. I'm really sorry about that. It has something to do with my internet tonight. So the fact that everybody can still see me, I'm going to continue, and I'll just have to, it's something with my internet. I'll just try to reset it after we're done. But if I reset it right now, it's going to knock me out. I'll have to come back in. You'll all have to find me again. So we're just going to go with the blurry look tonight. I think there are storms in the area that's possibly causing it. And so that is that's what I think is happening, but I'm not positive on that. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, paying second day air. So I come home on, let's see, I placed the order on Tuesday. Thursday, I come home and I'm so excited because I can't wait to open everything. And I'm going to spend the weekend trying to get my swaps done and get started on that. So I'm not far behind on that. And I open up the box and I'm going through everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this paper. Oh my gosh, I love the stamp set. And all of a sudden I'm like, where are all my gems? Where's my ribbon? Where are my dies? There were 2 boxes. And so I went and looked online and I'm like, okay, yeah, this box was delivered. Where's this other box? The state of Washington. Yeah, the state of Washington. Not like the state of Illinois. That would be close enough to get it to me the next day. Not the state of Minnesota. That would be close to me that I could get it the next day. The state of Washington, like way over on the West Coast. And I'm like, I am not going to get this by the weekend. I am not going to be able to do my swaps this weekend. And I was so upset. But I'm like, what am I going to do? I mean, like, there's nothing I can do about it, right? And so I just went about with my business. And all of that stuff came yesterday in the mail. And I'm like, So for those of you that are just hopping on late, I do know that I'm blurry. I can see up here, I can see my internet, and it's at like 1 bar right now. So I'm pretty sure that's why I'm blurry. It's on my end. It's not on your computer. So I apologize that it's blurry, but there's nothing I can do about it right now at this point. All right, are you ready to stamp? I am. So anyway, I do have one card that I made I had a bundle that was a punch, and the punch was there and the stamp set. So I did make a card with that. I wasn't happy with it enough to be able to use it as a swap, but it motivated me for my fun fold that I did for you for tonight. So anyhow, let me go ahead and switch my camera to that. And I'm probably still going to be blurry because it doesn't matter which camera I'm on. It's going to be blurry. And like I said, my brewer game is blurry too. All right, here, let's see, where do we want to start? This is the bundle that I'm going to be using tonight, Party Piggy. So if you have this bundle and you haven't used it yet, it is so fun. It has this little pig that we're going to be using, who has a little party hat and some flags, some confetti, some fun greetings, and then these dies. And these dies can cut out the head and the body, the flags, the hat, and then this little circle is the perfect size for in his belly if you wanted to make a shaker card. And then they have the What's Shaken bacon on here. Oh, it's clear now? Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm hoping that it cleared it up. Maybe it's just my computer that's the problem and not my camera. So well, that's coming from my camera too, or my computer too. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad that it's clear. So here is the dies that we're going to be using. We're not going to make a shaker card tonight. because with shaker cards, I like them to be cards that I'm going to hand to a person, because otherwise you really do have to pay a lot to make sure that it doesn't get damaged in the mail when they're sending it. All right, so here are our dimensions. This is a layout. So I'm going to tell you a little story. So my mom watches YouTube and Facebook videos a lot. When she's just like sitting around watching TV, she'll have her iPad. And anytime she sees things that has to do with different hairstyles, she sends it to my niece. If it has to do with airplanes and flying, she sends it to my nephew. If it has to do with stamping, she sends it to me. So on Sunday, I finished the fun fold and I'm like, there, I don't really have any more creative juices left in me. I'm just going to have to do my card for Tuesday. I'll do it on Monday. It was about 6:00 at night on Sunday. And all of a sudden I get a message from my mom and it's a card. And I look at it and it's one of my favorite stampers. It's Heidi Collins, Only Go Stamping. And she was doing a fun layout and she did 4 cards with it. And I'm like, I really like that. That's the card that I'm going to do. And so it kind of inspired me to get it done on Sunday. And I sent her a text later that night and I'm like, my cards are all done for Tuesday. And it was because she sent me this layout that I ended up using. So we are going to use a card base of Petal Pink that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So again, this isn't a fun fold. It's a super easy layout. It's the type of layout you want to use when you have some sort of a big die cut that you want to kind of feature on your card. Okay, so this is 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. You want a coordinating cardstock, something that goes with this, along with your DSP. And I used Early Espresso, and I got this color combination from a swap card. I'll show you the swap card, which was a shaker card that I got that inspired me for the color combination. So I had 2 different things. I had this video that inspired me for the layout, and I had another card that I had that gave me the idea for the color combination. So these measure 3 7/8 by 1 5/8, and you have 2 of them. The DSP that I'm using is from the Turtles DSP. It's got beehives on the back, but it really is from the Turtle. And actually, I think it has all different things on the back. I think there's like this was something else. I just happened to get the part that has the beehives. So these pieces measure 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. Okay, so those measure 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. And then I have a little piece for the inside of my card that is 1/2 inch by 3 7/8. And then my coordinating cardstock for the inside is also going to be Early Espresso. It's 4 by 5 1/4. And then the white for the inside is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I just wanted to bring that brown color into the inside of my card as well. I wanted to bring that in from the outside part. Then I have a scrap of basic white, and I have a really big scrap of Petal Pink, bigger than I really need. I'm going to set this aside. I'll bring it back when I have the card completely done, and we can look at that. So let's bring our stamps in here. I've got an Early Espresso ink pad, and I have a Petal Pink ink pad, and then I'm going to just kind of keep my stamps over there so that they don't get in the way. All right, let's start with, actually, let's put this together because my greeting, I have to know where it is on here to stamp it. So I'm going to attach this DSP to those layering pieces. I have to get my glue started. It's been sitting dormant. I didn't get to stamp at all last night because I was cutting for the card buffet. Okay, can I just say, I have one card in the card buffet that I had to cut 17 for 17 people. That's just the people from my people that are coming. Kathy had to cut hers. And it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 die cuts, 3 of which were very intricate die cuts. And I had to do 17 of them. I think it took me over an hour just to do the die cutting. Cutting the layers. Oh, and it had embossing as well. So I had to emboss a layer. See, I do all the die cutting for people ahead of time because otherwise they would never be able to make 8 cards in like the 3.5 to 4 hours that they're usually there. So I end up doing all of that stuff ahead of time for them. So they just have to put the cards together and do the stamping. They have to die cut anything that requires die cutting and stamping. So I should stop talking and tell you what I'm doing. I'm just layering these 2 right on top of each other. And that's going to tell me where I want to stamp. And so I am going to stamp. Woohoo, we just got a home run. All right, I'm going to use the Happy Birthday to You in Early Espresso. Or what do I want to use? Let's Party. Let's do Happy Birthday to You. And I'm just going to stamp that. That's why I had to put, I couldn't get all the stamping done unless I put this down first because I had to know where to stamp this. Does that make sense? I think it does. All right, on the piece of white scrap, on the piece of white scrap, there it is. We're going to do a little party hat for our party pig. And the other thing that I'm going to do in Early Espresso before I close it up is I'm going to stamp, and I put this all on one block. Who hit the home run? Sal. Sal Freelake hit the home run. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with Early Espresso on Petal Pink paper. Bet you didn't know that I could look at comments, I could stamp, and keep the corner of my eye looking at the Brewers at the same time. Oh my gosh, am I obsessed? Our Brewers, for those of you who aren't from Wisconsin, our Brewers are having a season, let me tell you. The inside, we're going to do Let's Party. And for anybody that knows anything about baseball, you probably know Mr. Baseball is Bob Uecker, and he passed away this year. And the last couple of seasons, they've all been wanting to win the title for Bob so that before he dies, because he's been sick off and on, they wanted to win the title for Bob. And so we're calling it Uecker Magic is what's happening. They shouldn't win some of the games that they do, and somehow they come from behind and have a walk-off home run, or you know, they just do things that it's like, oh my gosh, something, it had to be something else because nobody can get that lucky, right? All right, I'm going to take some of this little confetti that's in here, and I'm just going to put kind of a row on top of my Let's Party across the top here. And if you wanted to, we could probably fill in here too. There we go. And maybe fill in here. That looks kind of fun. Ooh, it's all coming down from the sky. And then I'm also going to stamp off and add just a little bit. I stamped off a little too much. You can barely see that. I don't want it to overpower it, so I just want it to be very light. Okay, so there's just a little bit of confetti on the top there. I think that's all the stamping that we have to do. All right, through the magic of TV, I do have my little Piggy die cut, and I have his hat die cut. But we're going to add some coloring to that. We're going to bring in some of these colors from our DSP to liven that up a little bit. Okay, this little strip, we'll get this put together and get this out of here. It's just going to go. See how that has something different across the back here? It wasn't beehives. It's one of those papers where it's like, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10 different panels that you could possibly cut and use either for scrapbooking or for a card. All right, and then we're going to attach this layer to the Early Espresso. And I don't know what she called this layout, so I don't know if it has a name. I watched the video very quickly and I was like, ooh, I like that. And it inspired me. Okay, what do I have? Because she used the Charming Day. So up here, she used that big flower clump with like the roses and stuff in it. And then she did one where she used sailboats that she put there. And then she did it this way. And she put the pieces of paper this way. And she put like the mountain scene in Scenic Adventure. And then she did one more, and I can't remember what the other one was. But so you just have to have like one, like something that you can die cut out that can kind of be your focal feature over to the left of where your greeting is. So I picked our little party pig to do that. I'm good at multitasking. Must be the teacher in me, Joan, because I do multitask a lot. All right. Let's see here. So we've got our inside done. Let's party and let's color. So on my little pig, I'm going to take the dark petal pink and I'm just going to color in his snout here, his little nose. Okay, and I'm going to color in the inside of his ear and on his little legs and arms. We're just going to get those little, I don't think those are hooves, but I don't know what those are. Whatever they are for that animal. See, I don't know all the body parts of animals. I'm not that smart. All right, this is our bronze, which comes with our ivory. It comes as a pack. And just going to color in his little mud that's on him in brown. And he's got a little bit on his ear. Now, if you don't have this color, you could always use like a pecan pie if you have that. I made a card for my last card buffet. I made it with, instead of petal pink, we used Pretty in Pink, and I used gray instead of Early Espresso. All right, in the hat, I wanted to take some of the colors that were in here. So I have a light balmy blue and I have a light poppy parade. And I'm just going to color the stripes every other one. And I don't think it matters which one I start with. Yeah, I did start with the light blue. I thought so. I'm just going to do blue and then we'll do red in between. To kind of pull in some of those colors. There's also some Darling Duckling in there. So because of that, we have our in color sale going on. So this paper would be 15% off. And so you would be able to get this only because there's Darling Duckling in there. You'd be able to get that for the discount. I'm going to bring my petal pink back in, and I'm going to do the top of the hat in that, and then I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella, and we're going to add a little glitter to that little pom-pom at the top of the party hat as well. All right, and now we are just going to add him and the hat to our card. So you want to make sure that his ear stays on the card so it doesn't get chopped off when you send it. And you want to make sure you have enough room to put his body on. So I'm going to set it like that. And you don't want to cover up the happy birthday. See, I used a different greeting when I did it before. So I'm going to actually move him in this way a little bit and maybe put him on a little bit more of an angle. There we go. That works. So there's our little piggy. I think I am going to put him a little bit straighter. I will get it to work. I'm going to put him up on dimensionals. The Let's Party or the What's Shaken Bacon probably work better than the Happy Birthday to You. That Happy Birthday comes out a little bit further than the other words do. So you probably want your words to come in or slide it over a little bit because you don't want to cover the words up, but you also do not want him going off the card. You do have a little bit of wiggle room on the side, but not much. And we'll put one up there. But he's so cute. I thought he was. Yes, it would be cute if the head was on a wobbler, Mary. That is for sure. Definitely would be adorable. I'm going to just kind of match his chin up. There we go. All right. So I matched his chin, or the bottom of his, with his little arms there. So I could lower it down just a little bit. And then put this on a mini. Here we go. Like, I know I have mini dimensionals here because for a while, that's all I could find were minis. Kathy's saying she likes the idea of a wobbler as well. I agree 100%. That would be so, so cute. All right, we're going to put a little party hat on him to make it look like a birthday. And then I have some of these muted palette dots. These come with that rainbow set. And there is, I think it's technically cloud cover. So these would then be on, and that's Darling Duckling, I believe, as well. So you would be able to get these discounted as well with that 15% off sale. And we'll just throw a couple of, I'm going to put one down there, and we'll put a couple of party dots to fill that space up there. And then depends on if you're giving it to a man or a woman or a boy or a girl. If it's a little kid, I really don't have, I have a niece now, or a great niece, I guess you could say, but she's only like 4 months old. So this might be a cute one-year birthday party if you made it into a little shaker card. That could be kind of cute. But there's a couple of things that you could do with this. You could put this on like right here by the, like where you would put a bow tie, and you could make it maybe a little bit more masculine that way. Or you could make it tinier and put it up in one of their ears like a little bow. You could even take a bigger ribbon. I just thought this linen thread is a lot thinner. And I'm just going to roll up a little glue dot and put it right there in the center and give him a little, kind of like a little bow tie going on right there. So we've got our little party piggy. Happy birthday to you. Let's party. Now, if you put the let's party here and then the happy birthday to you, you might have a little bit more room to move your pig up, but it looks fine where it is right there too. All right, let me bring the dimensions in here again for this layout so that you have them. Hopefully it's clear enough that you can get a picture that you can read. And again, if you jumped on late and it's still blurry, a little bit blurry, I apologize. There's something going on with my internet. I have the same thing happening with my DirecTV right now. It doesn't want to play in high resolution, so I'm guessing it's the same problem that I'm having with this as well. All right, so there is our card number 1 with our party piggy. Here he is with What's Shaken Bacon and Let's Party. Okay, so you could do either. And then this was the card that I got in a swap that has the little shaker stuff in it. Isn't he cute? Which gave me the color combination. And then, like I said, it was a video that my mom sent me that gave me this little layout. So I just changed this into that layout that I had. And voila, I had a card on Sunday and I was ready to go for my Tuesday class. And then I forgot to go to StreamYard and create the video so that you could have the link to it. So I sent that late when I got home from work today because it's like, honestly, if I don't make the cards the night before, I sometimes forget that I have to do all of that stuff. And it's like, okay, second card is going to be using, let me grab it, this bundle. I have had this since the catalog came out, or I think this might have been in the online exclusives. My brother loves popcorn. I actually love popcorn too. I could do popcorn for dinner, and oftentimes I do popcorn for dinner, but my brother Doug just loves popcorn. And my brother Chris will not eat it at all, will not touch popcorn, doesn't even like going to the movie theater because it smells like buttered popcorn there. So I got this kind of for my brother Doug. My idea was to send him something because he was diagnosed with cancer, and I was going to send him a card that said the popping in to say hello and just send him a card. Well, then he ended up going to Mexico for some treatment, and I didn't know how to get a card to him there. So I never did get him a card, but he's going to at some point get a card with this set because I thought this was so cute. All right. We are going to be doing a fun fold. Let me get you the dimensions. I got to get all my supplies here. I'm going to move them a little bit closer to me. Where are the dimensions? Oh, here they are. All right, so this is our fun fold, and this is a double Z fun fold. It's like a gatefold double Z, I think is what they called it. I don't know how they come up with the names. I can't keep all of the names straight. So if it's called something different and somebody knows, you can correct me. So this has a card base. We're going to use black of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then the double Z fold piece that's going to go in the center, that's going to be a gatefold, and it's going to have like a Z fold on either side. Measures 4 1/4 by 11. So you need a half a sheet of paper, and then you need this side, this quarter. So you really need 3/4 of a sheet of paper for this one. Plus I have some little die cuts in here as well. So this measures 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 2 and 3 3/4. And this is 7 1/4 and 9. You could also score it at 2 and 3 3/4, flip it over and score it at 2 and 3 3/4, and that would be the same thing. Okay, so this is going to be our folding piece that's going to be in the center. Our two front panels that we're going to be using. I did not cut those the other night. Let me get a piece of Daffodil Delight. They might be sitting on my desk somewhere because I thought I had everything cut. This was the first one I made. This wasn't even the one I made right before I went to bed. All right, so the two front panels are 1 3/4 by 4. So let me cut this Daffodil Delight at 1 3/4 by 4. We need 2 of them. I apologize, I did not have this done. Oh, Tammy has this, but she could use some ideas. Well, I hope that I can give you some ideas with this. I hadn't pulled it out for the longest time either. And then I used it for our card buffet this weekend. I found a card that Michelle Litweller had done online that I really thought was cute. And so I kind of used some of the ideas from that, and then I also put some of my own in for this one. Okay, so these are our two front panels, 1 3/4 by 4 inches, and we've got 2 of them. On the inside, where we're going to be putting our greeting, we have a piece that's 3 1/4 by 4 inches. I just want to make sure that that's right. Yep, that's right, because I've got a couple of pieces of different things. Okay, then I have a coordinating cardstock color. These are my mats for my DSP. I have 2 of them that are 3/4 by 4 inches long, and this is real red. Isn't this a cool color combination? Doesn't it look like something at the movies? I've got 2 of them that are 1.5 by 4. And then I have one piece that's 3 by 3.25. That looks like 3 by 3, but that should be 3 by 3.25. The DSP is just 1/8 of an inch smaller. So I've got 5/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 inch. I've got 2 of them. And I have 1 3/8 by 3 7/8 inch, and I have 2 of those. And then the other piece is matted on here, which is 2 3/4 by 3. I just want to make sure this one is not, yeah, that's going to go on there. All right, and then I have a scrap. So let's do our stamping that we have to do first, and we'll cut everything out so we have all our pieces done. And then once we have all that done, we'll put this fun fold together. So I'm going to be using Daffodil Delight and Real Red. And I will get the stamps out here. Let me put my confetti piece back. All right, so with my bowl of thing of popcorn, I'm going to stamp this twice. I'm going to stamp it once in Daffodil Delight, which is going to be my buttery popcorn. Okay, and then I'm going to clean it. I do have a chamois here. For those of you that have never used our chamois, these are wonderful for cleaning your stamps on the fly here. I'm just going to tap it a little dry on my pans, and I'm going to stamp it again in Real Red. And I realized the other day my Real Red pad has to be re-inked, and I haven't done that in a while, and it looks pretty good. All right, so that's that. Then we're going to take, to see if I did this or not. I did not. We're not going to do this. We're not going to. I was going to take the little guy. I decided against that. I ended up not putting it on. Oh, I did put it on the card. Let's do it, and I'll just go ahead and die cut it. Couldn't remember if I die cut it or not. Die cut it or not. Okay, so there's one of our little pieces of popcorn. And then on our inside, we are going to take this little guy right here that has like these little things like he's being popped. And we're going to put him down in the corner. And then I'm going to take some Memento ink. And there's this word pop. And I'm going to just stamp it a couple of times around them, like I'm popping it. I don't know why there's black on the outside. I'm going to try to do this again. I don't like how that looked. Let me clean the stamp and see, where did I put my chamois now? See, I just have two. Here it is, my bucket. I just have too many things going on here. Debbie says her mom loves Raisinets in her movie theater popcorn. I've never thought of putting Raisinets inside the popcorn. I like Raisinets and I like popcorn, so I'm guessing I maybe would like that. Look at that. It's better. It doesn't have that little black edge. So now I'm going to do pop and pop. Okay, for the inside. And then let's close up the red. I'm done with that, and I just don't want to have that anywhere. Let's take our front piece, and we're going to use the No One's Butter Than You. Now, my sticker didn't get on here very straight, so I put my stamp straight. So I'm going to line this up kind of along this bottom edge, and I do have to get it pretty close to the bottom when I stamp it. So if I have this straight with the edge, my words should come out straight, even though they look like they're going to be a little crooked. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. Right? I want that a little bit closer to the bottom. I'm also going to add a little happy birthday on the inside. This is going to be a little birthday card that I could use for my brother someday or somebody else that I know who loves popcorn. And I don't know which stamp set I got that from. Let me think. Let me look. Might be able to tell you. The jar one. Sweet jar. Okay, so that's from the Sweet Jar stamp set. Happy birthday. All right, I'm going to keep this out yet. We're going to bring our yellow panels in. I'm going to flip this over. We don't have a DSP that has popcorn on it, so we're going to make it. All right, so we're going to take our Daffodil Delight paper, and we're going to use our Daffodil Delight ink, and we're going to take that fun one that has, and now there's two of them, so you could use both of them if you wanted to. I decided just to use one. And I'm just going to randomly stamp popcorn pieces on this paper to make it look like it's DSP. I'm going to do it on the other one as well. And then I think I'm just going to do those little guys up there. I'm going to take that word pop and I'm just going to, oh darn, I'm going to cover that. I'm not going to worry about it. Softer hands, Sarah. I can have a really heavy hand sometimes. Oh, I just put that in yellow. Look at that. Do you know how to fix this? How you fix this, let me grab one. So what happens when you have too many ink pads out at once? I'm taking a wet wipe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wet wipe and I'm going to get that ink, that black ink out of there. So if you've ever done this, don't think you have to throw your pad away. So get the black ink out, then get your re-inker and add more ink in that area and it'll fix that up for you. Believe me, I've had people at some of my classes put really, really dark colors into really light ink pads and we were able to salvage them. So you can salvage just about any ink pad. Don't think you have to go buy a new one. Just take a wet wipe or take some sort of a damp cloth and pick up that ink. Now let's put this in the black and it will take care of that for you. Some of this stuff in the center we're not going to see anyway, so like that we're not going to see that. It'll be covered. Okay, so I'll go back after we're off camera and add more ink to that. All right, I can put my ink pads away. I can put my stamps away. We're done with those. And we are ready to put this together. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our popcorn. So I stamped two of these, but what I want to do is I want to take this red one and I want to take the popcorn off of it and I want to just layer it on top of this so that my popcorn is yellow, but my bucket is red and white. So I'm just going to take a scissors and I die cut these out already. I'm going to do it from the die cut one. Oh, look I did cut him out. Okay, so we're going to cut that out. We have dies to cut all of these things out, and through the magic of TV, there they are. Now, what's cool about these dies, you haven't seen the stamp set yet, and they have these little like 3D glasses, and they have little shoes to put on your popcorn bowl, and then this is supposed to be like a little film strip thing that you could put on if you wanted to kind of have like a movie background type thing. So I did die cut. They should be in here. Oh, look at that. The little 3D glasses and the little shoes. And I did put some adhesive strip on the back so that those will easily glue on top of there. All right, so now that this is die cut out, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to go around the top and leave a little bit of white there, but make sure that none of the popcorn comes with me. Okay, so I want to leave all of the stuff that's on top behind and just get the red bucket like that. Now I can take some liquid glue and put it on the back of this. Come on. There we go. And set it right over the top of my yellow one, like that. So I have buttered popcorn in a little red bucket. Okay, now you could, if you wanted to, you could use markers and you could color all of that, but it's just as easy to die cut them and then just trim that off to be able to get your two different colors on the one stamp. Okay, now with my adhesive sheets, I can just peel off that white strip that's on the back, and I've now got a little sticker, and I'm going to put those on. Isn't that cute? Okay, and then we're going to put shoes on him as well. So again, I have stickers on here. And I've got a left shoe. And it kind of just goes right in between that little die cut there, how it's die cut from the dies. And we've got our other little shoe. We'll put there. Oh my gosh. All right, then let's go ahead and add this to here already, and then we will pop that up on some dimensionals. Then we should be all set to put our card together. Just wait till you see how cute this ends up. I was pretty proud of myself. I liked it a lot better than the swap card that I made with this fold. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to use that swap card. I think I'm going to do something else with something else that I got instead of what I did. But I will show you what I ended up making so you can kind of get a little sneak peek of some product. Okay, so he's going to go right there. And then where's our other little guy? There he is. He's just going to go right down here kind of on a angle. Like so. All right, let's put this card together. All right, so all of these pieces of designer paper, I could have had this done already, but I thought I'm going to show you how simple it is to just put this together. Now, you're going to notice in the sample that the other one that I made with some of the new product, I did not layer the DSP on a piece of cardstock. I just cut the DSP to the size that I told you this real red was. So you don't have to put a mat. I just thought because I was putting this on black paper, I needed to bring that red in a little bit. So I matted my black paper on red because I thought it just stood out a little bit better. And same thing with this little piece here. Goes like that. Hopefully I'm not out of the camera. I'm not. A couple of you are saying how much you love this stamp set and dies. Like I said, it was in my first order because of my brother and thinking, oh gosh, I just think that's so adorable. And it's been sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. And finally, when I was getting ready for the card buffet, I'm like, I haven't used that. And I have so many flowers, right? We all have so many flowers. Look at tonight, I did not do one card with flowers. I mean, I love flowers, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I feel like that's all I do are flower cards. And so you have to have a little variety in life, right? I'm going to take these and I'm going to add them to the edges, and I want the right and the left side. So I want the top and the bottom to be even, and then the right and left side, that space to be about the same as well. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of eyeball it. Ooh. It's 2-0 now. I don't know what happened, but it's 2-0. What is that DSP from? This DSP is from the Garden Garden, let me go get it. Lovely Garden. It's this DSP from the Lovely Garden. The back side of it is a floral piece that looks like, let's see. Well, could you see it when I glued it? Here, it looks like this on the back. Okay, and then it has black and white. So this has black and white on one side, and then it has colorful stuff on some of the pieces. So I was looking for something with black and white, and that's what I found. So hello, Kathy from Canada. Hopefully that answers your question, Renee. That's where I got that from. Okay, so these are going to fold in. I'm going to get my bone folder here. I'm going to fold this one in, and then I'm going to fold it back. So it's a Z fold. So there's one of the Z folds. And then here's the other one. I'm going to fold it in, and I'm going to fold it back. So there's our double Z fold, but it's also a gate fold. So it comes together in the center, and then it's going to pull out like that. Okay, these pieces that we did are going to go right in the center here, just like that. See, this should get covered, I think. I'm pretty sure it will. And that's why I didn't redo it, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure that'll get covered. Okay, so that's going to go like that. This is going to go on the other side. Pop, pop, pop. Now, you didn't have to put that word pop there because a lot of them are going to get covered up. I just thought it added a little bit. You really wouldn't have to do that. Oh, Sal walked and Contreras hit a double. That's how they scored their run. See, I knew I would have somebody that would tell me. So Sal scored twice now. That's good. All right, I'll have to check my bingo card later, see how I'm doing on that. Every single time it says, congratulations, but somebody else claimed bingo already today. All right. That's going to go on the inside. Oh, isn't this fun? Look at how this is coming together. I just love it. I do have to say, I loved how this one, I used the color combination that Michelle did. I came up with the idea of making my own designer paper. I had seen that somewhere else. I don't remember who I saw it from, a long time ago when it first came out. I was like, well, that's a good idea since you don't have designer paper. And then this is going to go in the center here like this. So I am going to, because people are going to be pulling on this a lot, I'm going to use my tear and tape. Liquid glue is good. You do have to make sure that you let it set enough so that it dries, so that it does actually get, so that you don't end up moving it before it is completely dry. But you just hold on to it for a little bit, and that's good. When you use tear and tape, you have to be right on because it is a permanent tape. It's good. Once it's stuck, it's stuck. Now, if you wanted to, you could use some graph paper and line this up and make sure you had it smack dab in the center. I'm going to kind of use my designer paper as a guide so that I'm going right up to the designer paper. I'm going to actually do it this way so that I can kind of see what I'm doing here. That looks pretty good. I'm sorry if my head is in there. Set that down. Okay, so this is going to open like that. And then we're going to attach him just to the left-hand side here. So again, I'm going to use just a little bit of tear and tape. Some people use tear and tape all the time because they think it's a lot easier than having to put their liquid glue on and then having to use the snail. It's just your preference, really. I put one little piece in the center and then on the far left because I didn't want to put it in the middle and then go too far. And I'm just centering this on that center piece there. And voila, we have our little card. Happy birthday. No one's better than you. Happy birthday. Isn't that fun? Now, if you wanted to add a few gems to it, I don't know that it needs any gems, but if you're looking for something that you're like, oh, I feel like I just need something else, I kind of looked right down in this little corner here. So I had this over here. There wasn't anything really, even my words pop didn't show up there like they didn't now either. For some reason, I didn't put anything there. These are our neutral matte dots. And when I made mine, I just took one of each size and put them on either side of this little corner here. And it just added a little bit of something. You could also, there's a lot of white in here, so if you wanted to, you could tap it and get it kind of speckled with one of the colors, whether it be the yellow or put some of the popcorn behind it. But I thought that ended up being so fun. All right, so I'll show you the little sneak peek of the one that I did. So again, so if you're hopping on late, last week I was bragging how I was able to use my Stampin' Rewards. That's what they're called, Stampin' Rewards. I was able to use them to send all of the stuff that I ordered from the new mini catalog and the new upcoming online exclusives second day air. So I was going to get them by Thursday. Well, one of my boxes ended up in the state of Washington. So I had no dies, I had no ribbon, and I had no gems. And so I really couldn't do my swap cards with none of those things. But I did have a punch and a stamp set. It's called the Furry Squirrel, I think. And so this is some of our Gather Together, I think it's called Gather Together paper that has Cajun Craze, has a little crushed curry in it, and some early espresso. And then this is the other side of the paper that has some gold in it. And so I used that along with, instead of stamping on this or using designer paper, I just embossed this with our birchwood embossing folder. And then I used DSP in the back because white was just too much. And I really wanted to bring the gold into the paper. So I just cut out or punched out the little gold acorn. And I did stamp him off to look a little bit more like the lighter Cajun Craze. So may you gather happiness. And then there's like a little squirrel on the inside as well. So I wasn't like completely like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this card to put it in a swap, but I thought I would at least show you some of the new designer paper in use, as well as that stamp and that punch. So the punch punches out the squirrel that's in this direction, but then there's also a squirrel that's in the opposite direction and his hands are back. It comes with like a little acorn that you can stamp, and then there's the punch has the little acorn in it. It has a gift. It has a flower. And I think that's it that you can put in his hand. So it has the outline and it has the inside for each of the squirrels. And then it has some of those little things that you can put in his hand. Oh, and it has a little tree stump that you could have him stand on as well. I wanted to get this up in the corner there. And if he stood on the tree stump, he was up too high and got in the way of my words. And so I ended up having to not do the tree stump. So that is my card that I don't think I'm going to use for a swap, but I have something for a sample that I can put on a display board. But I'm like, I like it. I like the fold. Everybody would like the fun fold. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about how it turned out. So I'm still kind of on the fence there. So, but I did like this one. I really loved this. Okay, now you want the dimensions. Here we go. You think it would be a fun swap card, Debbie? Okay, maybe I will do it. I don't know. I was like, I'm not sure. So I was still kind of, like I said, on the fence a little bit. So here is our card with the popcorn. Now, if I would do my bone folder a little bit better, this would lay a little bit flatter. You can see I did a little bit better job with this one and it lays a little bit flatter. When you put that in your envelope. Oh, I didn't do any of my envelopes, did I? Let's do a little popcorn here. Actually, you know what? Let's do the back. Let's do the back here. Let me get this out again. And we will, going to do the edge here. Ooh, look at that on white. Okay, and then we'll take our word pop. We'll put that on the back too, just so kind of follows the whole theme of what we had on the inside. Now I do have to be careful, not too heavy-handed, so I get P.O. Well, right, let's put one more up here. Actually, let's put a yellow up here. We need a little bit more yellow right there. There we go. So now we've got a matching envelope, and I will make a matching envelope for the Piggy one. I'll probably put some of the paper on the envelope. Okay, so now, did I do the dimensions? Let me do the dimensions. Oh, Becky. Yeah, so Doug had, my brother Doug, for those of you that know him, was diagnosed with lymphoma. They actually found cancer in his neck, his chest, and his abdomen in the lymph nodes. And so he was going to, they wanted to start him on chemotherapy, and he just really did not want to put that poison into his body. So he heard about a treatment in Mexico. And so he went to Mexico for, I think he was there for 5 weeks. And when he left, the tumors in his neck were gone. The tumors in his chest were gone. The one in his abdomen had shrunk about 30%. And it looked like it was black and that it was dying. They told him he needed to watch his diet, keep sugar out because sugar feeds cancer. He had to eliminate the stress in his life, which anyone who knows my brother, he's always on the go. And there were different things like that that he had to do. He has gone for another scan since then, and it hasn't shrunk as much as that he had hoped since the last time. But he's doing really, really well. So we're very, very hopeful. Lymphoma can come back again. But right now, everything's looking on the up and up, and he didn't have to go through chemo, which was a blessing. So yeah, a lot of prayers. So so that is this card, which hopefully you got a picture of that. Let me bring the other one back in here. Let's see. Here's our happy birthday with our little piggy party pig. Piggy party piggy. I don't remember. Party piggy. That makes more sense. All right. So there are cards for tonight. Let me go ahead and switch the camera. Let's see. Where am I going here, Sarah? How about if I talk to you? There we go. Here I am. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed the layout. Thanks to Heidi Collins at Onigo Stamping. I took that from her. And the fun fold was something that I used a long time ago. I don't even know where I got it the first time. But the designer paper idea was Michelle Litwiller's, and the rest of it was kind of mine thrown together. So I'm glad that you like that. I hope you liked your little sneak peek of our little furry squirrel that's coming out. It's blurry again. So it must be something with my computer. Must be my computer and not, so I have a document, not a document. I just have a webcam. I wonder if I turn the webcam around, if it would work. Kelly said she had lymphoma 41 years ago without reoccurrence. That's awesome, Kelly. I'm so happy to hear that. So yeah, so anyway, we just keep praying and hope for the best. Exactly. So that is all I have for tonight. Let me think next week. What is next week? Next week, I think I can be live on Tuesday. I don't even know my calendar. I will be live next Tuesday. I will be live next Tuesday. I will see you next Tuesday at the same time, 6:30 on these same channels. And hopefully I will have the blurriness fixed by then. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope that this inspired you to get your stamps out and to be creative. I will see you next week and have a great weekend. I'll be able to share all the information about the baby shower that I'm hosting for my niece this weekend. Oh my goodness. lots of stuff going on. So I'll be able to tell you a little bit about that next week. So have a great week. Bye bye.